Good morning to my second grade class. Today is Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. So 4/2/20, and oh, look, I made a note to myself. Yesterday was April Fool's Day. Did any of you guys play any little tricks or April Fool's jokes on your friends or your family? It's always a fun day to do that. All right, so I wanted to kind of go over what we're going to be doing today. But before we do that, I wanted to pause and I wanted to talk to you guys about an early bird math question that you had on your early bird for Tuesday. All right, so this is a subtraction problem, and we have not covered regrouping or borrowing yet. That's usually something that we learn about towards the end of second grade. And so there was a regrouping or borrowing subtraction question on your early bird. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about this. So when you come across a problem that you're not sure how to do and you haven't seen, it doesn't look familiar, it's not something that we've covered, you can do a couple of different things. You can always draw a picture. This was number 2 on the early bird. So I'm going to write it out for us so you'll see what I'm talking about. It was 33 minus 16. Okay? 33 minus 16. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can answer the problem. You can always draw a picture, right? We've talked about how to solve problems, and we draw pictures with all of our word problems and also problems that have bigger numbers like this. So if you were going to draw a picture, you would draw, you know what you could do? Instead of drawing 33, you could draw groups of 10. So here's 1 10. Here is another 10. Here is another 10. And then you have 3 extra. So 10, 20, 33 minus 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So if we were going to subtract 16, if we drew a picture, well, 16, so you're going to go ahead and mark out one of those. You're going to mark out 1, 2, 3. And then you have 3 to take away from what? 10. So 10 minus 3 is 7. So 10, that's what you have left over, is a 10 and a 7. So what is that? 17. Okay? So that's one way to do it. You can draw a picture. Now, regrouping, so remember, this is our 1s and this is our 10s. So with regrouping, you can't take 6 away from 3 because there's not enough to take it away from. So you have to change this. You have to borrow 10 from this side because this number is 33. So you borrow 10 from 33, and that is going to change it to a 2. And then you've borrowed the 10, so 10 plus 3 is 13. Okay? So 13 minus 6 is what? 7. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So that's just a quick little lesson on how to do regrouping or borrowing. You don't need to know how to do that yet, okay? Another way that you could do this is 33 minus 16. So you know, we're going to break this down. 16 is a 10. Remember when we did this? And a 6, right? So 33 minus 10 is 22, or 23, sorry. Minus 6 is, and that breaks it down a little easier. So 23 minus 6 would be 20, 19, 18, 17, 17. You get the same answer. Okay, so there's lots of different ways to go about that problem. Don't stress over borrowing and regrouping. It hopefully is something that we'll get to later, and hopefully we will be back in school because it's really good to use manipulatives when you're learning how to do that. But we'll just see, okay? But I did want to touch base on that. And that was it. I think the rest of it was okay. All right. The next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is you have an early bird for Wednesday today. There is no work on Wednesday because it's a day of play. This just happened to be in there because all of our early bird packets are Monday through Friday, and the Wednesday is just, we just didn't take it out because it's easier. It was easier to make copies, to just run everything through. And these are normally front and back, so it just created kind of a situation where it was easier for us to just leave it in. You're going to see Wednesday pages in Early Bird after spring break. Wednesday is going to be a day of play for the rest of the time that we're doing distance learning at home. So Wednesday is optional, okay? You can do Wednesday. You don't have to do Wednesday. I don't need it scanned. I'm going to leave that up to you guys, okay? If you want to do Wednesday or not do Wednesday. All right, that's up to you. But I just wanted to talk about that for a second. All right. So Thursday, today, you are going to start with this sheet right here. This is your journal prompts, all right? And you've got lots of different prompts here that you can pick from, all right? Our best Easter egg hunt was, that's a good one. Decorating Easter eggs is fun because my favorite Easter candy is, my family's Easter traditions include, my favorite April Fool's prank. That might be a good one for you guys to do today. But this one in the middle, you guys are going to have fun with. Roxy would make a great Easter bunny because. All right? So these are your prompts for your journal this morning. Remember, you can use your first, next, then, and last. This will get you through your 4 sentences. Okay? So remember this. And remember that you have all of these sentence starters, all right, to help you with your journal. And then there's lots of good words in here, okay? Sunny, cloudy, kite, frog, grass, tadpole, ladybug. There's things about the garden, umbrella, rain, mud, rain boots, butterflies, birds, lots of spring words. So make sure you use all of your resources, this whole packet, okay, this whole packet to work with your journal and your writing. All right. Thursday's early bird. These first couple questions, you got to really say the sentence out loud, okay? Weren't that a scary movie? Does that make sense? Is that something that you would say or something you would hear someone say? So you're going to need to rethink about how you would say that and it would make sense. Weren't that a scary movie? So think about that, okay, when you're answering that question this morning. And is that a statement or is that a question? Make sure you get your punctuation right. Number 2, didn't you went to the Christmas play? You gotta say it out loud, guys, when you're reading these. Because when you say it out loud, it's easier to hear if it makes sense, and then where it doesn't make sense, you can go in and correct it. And make sure you're putting the correct punctuation. If it's a statement, you're putting a period. If it's a question, you're using a question mark. All right, the other thing that I wanted to show you guys on this is there's another big subtraction problem on here, but this one's a little different. These are just big numbers, but you don't have to regroup, and I'm going to show you why, okay? So 68 minus 28. Again, you can do this a couple of different ways. 68 minus 28. All right, the first thing that you're going to do when you see big numbers like this is you're going to draw a line down the middle. And you're going to just work these just like you would normally when you're working your math facts. So let's break this down. This is the 1 side, and this is the tens. All right, but we don't need to worry about that. 8 minus 8 is what? 8 minus 8, 0. And 6 minus 2 is 4. All right, so you've got your answer. Another way that you could do this, since we have done skip counting, 68 minus 28, you know that those are the same number. 58, 48, and then minus 8 is 40. So your mental math. All right, so I don't think you're going to need to draw a picture for this. I think you guys can figure this out. All right, I wanted to go over that. I also wanted to point out that down here on number 5 on Early Bird, we have our circles. So you're going to circle, you're going to fill in the bubble for the correct answer. That's what those are. They're bubbles. So bubble in the correct answer. All right. Everything else looks good. You have a word problem to solve for your warm-up before your math work. And this is why you have all this space here, guys. You need to show your work. Show your work in here. And then write a number sentence. Okay, show your work, write a number sentence. Naya won 19 tickets at the fair and her brother won 24 tickets. How many tickets did they win in all? So you're going to need to show your work and then write your number sentence. How many tickets did they win in all? We've talked about this a lot with word problems. You know when it says in all that it's automatically what? Subtraction or addition? Is it always? It's addition. In all. You're including everything. Okay? So you're going to need to make sure that you're adding this one up. All right? You're continuing with your line plots. I think those are going pretty well. They're kind of fun. And then you're going to do your Thursday night practice test. But before you do that, you are going to need to, this is your word work and the rest of your spelling, just to help you practice. You're going to create an asking sentence for each spelling word. And look, guys, just choose 10 because you've got 10, the number 10 down here. You have 12 words, but just choose 10. All right? You don't need to choose. You don't need to write 12 sentences. This is why watching the videos every morning is really important because you get all of these little tips and tricks and things along the way, so you're not doing more work than you need to, and you know kind of what you're supposed to do each day. So pick 10 of your favorite spelling words, and you're going to write question sentences. So I'm giving you guys some tips. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. Those are all starter sentences for a question. All right, so let's see if I can do one. I'm looking for a word. Cloud. Okay. Who sees the clouds who sees the cloud in the sky? All right, so that would be a good question sentence. All right, let's see if we can do one with the next one. What? Let's see. Oh, one of your words is loud. What made that loud sound? All right. So use these: who, what, where, when, why, and how, and then just pick another: who, what, where, when, or why, how, who, any of these. Repeat them to make your 10 sentences. All right? Then you're going to do your Thursday night practice because you've had a chance to practice writing and spelling your words. And then last but not least, your reading notebook and your social studies work. Okay? I combined these together because we're learning about continents. And when you're reading your passages, you're practicing your reading, and then you are finding out all kinds of fun facts and things about these different continents. And then your social studies piece to this is to actually go in and do the assignment. That's next in the next page. So you're going to read your passage about Asia, and then you're going to color your Asia sheet for your booklet. You're going to cut this out. You're going to turn over this page and see how you can still see this rectangle. You're going to cut this out. This is about Asia, and you're going to glue it on to the back of that page. Now, this is a different reading passage about Asia, so make sure you're reading this one and you're reading this one, because it's going to tell you some different fun facts about Asia. And remember to use your handy dandy color wheel. So you're going to look for Asia, South America, North America, Europe, Australia, Asia. So you're going to look for it, and then you're going to know what color you need to color it, because you want it to match your color wheel. All right? And then just bring this forward with you. Okay? You need to keep this, because after we finish all the pages, we're going to cut everything out and assemble our book. Cover page, and then you need to find Asia down here, and you need to color it yellow, just like you're coloring your booklet page. Same color. All right? And then keep these together and just build up the book. We're going to cut these out later, but bring it with you to the next day, and then bring all your sheets with you to the next day. That way you have all of these booklet sheets together, and then at the end we're going to cut it out and make a booklet. All right, guys, I think that is it. It was really nice having Wednesday. I know you guys enjoyed that. It gave you some time to step away from your work schedule and go do some other things that you enjoy doing and not having to worry about getting your work done yesterday. It also gave you time yesterday to maybe make up some work that you needed to finish, right? Because sometimes we just get a little behind, and just like at school, we always make time to make up the work that we're not done with. So Wednesdays are good for that as well. I think that is all I needed to share with you guys for today. I'm going to be sending out, hopefully today, before our Zoom meeting. I'm going to put it on WhatsApp, I think. Just a little Zoom etiquette sheet that we have been thinking about as we've been doing our Zoom meetings, about ways that we need to behave and things that we need to do to be present and an active participant during Zoom, okay? There's a lot of walking around during our Zoom meetings, and it's really hard for you to hear, and it creates a lot of rustly noises and extra distractions and noises when you're getting up and you're walking around and you're leaving the device that you're doing our Zoom meeting on. You need to stay seated in an area that's quiet, okay? Do you remember how Rose told us that she had gone into a closet where her snacks are, and that's where she was doing her Zoom meetings because it was quiet? When you go to a place that's quiet, meaning there's no talking in the room behind you. I know that we can hear everything that's going on behind you on the Zoom meeting. And it's making it really difficult for us to hear each other when we're talking. So you need to find a quiet space. You need to be seated and not walking around or going and looking for something or searching for stuff all around you. Your eyes need to be on the speaker, your ears need to be listening, and we're not going to be eating food during our Zoom meetings because we really can't understand what you're saying when you're eating food. So those are some of the things that I'm going to send out for some Zoom etiquette, and some things that you need to be thinking about before our Zoom meeting today, guys, okay? I want to make sure that when we get together for our Zoom meetings that everybody can hear, everybody can be heard, and that everyone that has come to the meeting is participating. That brings me to another thing. Please come to the meeting on time when it starts, okay? Because Miss Edwards, at the beginning of every meeting, I'm introducing to you what we're doing, and we're going over how we're going to go about doing that together as a class. So when you come in late to the meeting, you have no idea what's going on, all right? So it's a meeting and there's a scheduled time, so I really need you guys to get there on time, all right? Because everybody needs to be on the same page when we start the meeting. And then if it's on your day, especially if it's on your day to share, like on Friday when we do Share a Pet, please make sure that you're on time if you are one of the 3 or 4 that have signed up to share, because I want to make sure that you get your special time because you guys, your parents have signed you up for that. So ask your mom and dad or whoever signed you up what day you're signed up for, but make sure that you guys, all of us, even the audience members, are coming to our Zoom meetings on time, okay? But I'll send out some of those reminders hopefully later today to give to you guys before the meeting. And I think that's it, guys. I miss you guys very much, and have a great Thursday, and I'll see you guys a little bit later today at our Zoom meeting. And have a great day. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.